I only got out of hospital Saturday night. I was took in last week. Was like proper ill. Thursday I got rushed in. I was like vomiting 8 times, sick, everything else. So I was 15 stone 4 at the beginning of the year. I'm 12 stone 10 now. And the vomiting got me straight in. I was weak as piss, couldn't drive to hospital, someone took me. And as soon as I started vomiting, the blockage, the stent had shifted again. So I put the stent in on a drip, the whole lot. And then I was begging them for them to let me out Saturday night because I wanted to get home and watch Yafai and Rodriguez. And I can't sit there and be, oh, and this, it's just like you got in. I'll be wiped out this evening, this afternoon, and then I'll be on the track with them later on tonight. But you've got to do it. I'm doing this for you. I'm giving you all my all when I should be at home resting. I've finished my chemo now. I'm supposed to be putting on weight and being on holiday for the big op coming, but I'm not. I'm here and I'm stressed and working and pushing, and I want the best for them, and I'll go tooth and nail for them, but I want that back, and that's all you can do, and that's how it is really. Peter Judson, good fighter. Henry Armstrong, good fighter. Garber in, John Fury out. Steve Walker fought for the British. Eric Noy, good fighter. Carl Thompson, Carl Hanley, Quentin Taylor, Frank Eubanks, good fighter. Humphrey Harrison, Ainsley Bingham, Billy Graham's brother passed away. Morris, Frank Grant, Phil, Jim was thriving there. The offshoots of Phil's Jim, Billy going on what he wants to do. Humphrey and Oliver Harrison going on. All spread Eric Noy and all that.
For me, that Garber, his son just fought
Yeah, that's
Fury,
right,
didn't he?
yeah. And Garber beat Joe Budden's son at Wembley on the same night Paul Burt beat Joe Fury. So some going, so the gym has never really changed. Same setup in here, everything's still the same, do you know what I mean? So that'll be in here since like 1989, 90.
It looks like it was the first ever sauna.
Yeah. Works, everything. We don't use saunas, but that's just for the people at night time, everything. Gyms, everything's still the same, nothing's changed, still the gym colours, everything else, so machinery all the same. It's a shame really, we've just cleared out upstairs. Oh, before we go in here, see this show in here. This show was in 1993, this was when we were at the top. We couldn't get TV for this show. On it was the 4 British champions, Carl Thompson, Paul Burt, Maurice Coe and Frank Grant, and we had England versus USA, SummerSlam. On it as well, Steve Walker was fighting Neil Haddock at the time, which was the Jinx British Super Featherweight Championship. No one could defend it, they'd win it but lose it. Then under the card we had Foster the Viking, Nick Boyd, Eric Noy and Mary Culpepper. And we did that on a Sunday afternoon and we couldn't get television for that.
Couldn't get it on the telly, wow.
That's just criminal. And it was after that stage then, after that I think, Phil had done a meeting with Frank and Frank was on about, listen, I'll do something with Frank, he would have fought Joe McClellan and then the others and everything else. So yeah, what happened then, Mickey Duff did a show on the same night where Frank fought Neville Brown and Paul Burt did a rematch with Billy Shaw. 2 different venues, Phil couldn't be in the same place twice, he asked Ian Powell to go and do Paul Burke's for him, do you know what I mean? That's how that relationship started. Also in here as well, is this is a huge library of videos of boxing from way back from the 70s, 80s and 90s. There's like 540 and my job was always to mark them up. It was always to mark them up, you get them up, there's a tape number on it, 143, they'd all be listed. You get the book and then you go to it 143 and it'll tell you who'd be fighting on it. So there'd be ABAs, there'd be central area titles, English title, Ferries, Jay Gallagher taped him. So Hagler and Thermal tape 12. All this, there's like hundreds and hundreds of fights, amateurs, pros. It's like Zelfers here now, and we've got Pat Barrett on here in the ABAs and stuff like that. Yeah,
I was wondering who still owns a VCR. I found out it's Joe Gallagher, and there it is.
Yeah. No, listen, we used to have a double one at the time. So we used to have it and then record it again for everyone else, double play and all that.
Tape from one to the other and all that stuff.
That's the camera that was above the ring that used to film. Remember how old is that camera? You see it?
Is it still filming now?
It's still filming. No, it's different cameras we've got now. But this up, put this on. But we've got cameras around the gym, so when I come in here, they think they're not working, but they'll all come up security on there. But there's nothing ever lost in the gym, but like you said, the VCR, the history, Manchester Library, I've got to come and transfer all them over. That used to be the job in the office, so I used to sit with Phil and Phil used to say, right, what do you see? And I go, this, no, he says, you're seeing it like Joe Public sees it. look how many times is he moving to the left before he moves to the right. So as I said, I had my Oxford and Cambridge here. Do you know what I mean? As in the daytime working here with Phil, then coming down, watching training the pros, everyone that was fighting at the time, then back upstairs, obviously doing tickets. Then at night time I was running the amateurs. So Levi won a schoolboy title, and then he got called up to box England schoolboys, and I got the letter. I said, Phil, England, Levi's beat schoolboys. I said, don't let him. I went, why? He's just won the schoolboys. Don't let him. He said, if he's good enough, he'll get picked again. He'll be burnt out, giving the summer off, and lo and behold, he got boxed and picked to box full England down in London in a big show. But just that, where everyone rushes to an England schools rest and the kids face burn out too young too soon, it's just having that around you all
You've
the
had
time.
a proper apprenticeship, haven't you?
Yeah, especially at amateurs and pros, and like you said, Joe Murray went to the Worlds, got a bronze medal, went to Beijing Olympics, had ABA champions, do you know what I mean, Foster twice, Owen Trainer there a few times, Boys Club champions, Opie Burton, Schoolboy Boys Club, ABA champion, Levi Schoolboy, Danny Coyle, and the kids were always getting to, John Murray got to the ABA Schoolboy final in his 7th fight, fought Gary Sykes, then fought Burke in the ABAs, and we always got there in 10, 12, 14 fights. So,
But what you haven't had yet is World Heavyweight Champion, Joe.
well, no, I think people come into your life for a reason. I think Lawrence Okolie was one of them last year when I had one foot out the door and I give it a momentum and drive. Then Zelfa Barrett's coming again, and I think Zelfa's nailed on, got to be a world champion. He just needs momentum. He's just fought now, he's got to fight again. Lawrence had 2 fights last year, and that's why I understand people see him as a bit of, we're not sure about him because he's doing 2 kids out. But he was underdog for Poland and he won. And the kid that he fought in November, no one wasn't sure. He wasn't a bad kid, and we blew him out. So they say, oh, he's rubbish. But he isn't. Do you know what I mean? He ain't rubbish. Them kids were rubbish. It's just that we took care of business. Now he's stepping up. We could easily sat on the number 1 and waited, but we've got to have a fight with Kevin Leran, and people know more about it. But I had a go at Ada, who's always on TalkSport, and he never mentions Lawrence Okolie. It's always Moses Atumu, Fabio Wardley, and God knows Dylan White. But the people who don't mention all the time is Lawrence Okolie, Joseph Parker, and there's another heavyweight that I doesn't really mention much. And I just think, you're sleeping, and I've inbox messaged him directly saying, you're sleeping on Lawrence Okolie, and you're supposed to know boxing, and you don't mention him. He's a 2-weight world champion, regardless of what and what. And I've said to him, and that's my personal, when he wins a world title, I'll make sure you're lost in the queue for interviewing him, because you never bigged him or did him or anything else, because you're just all this way, AJ Tyson, and that's not how it is, do you understand? They're not giving him his props for what it should be, do you know what I mean? Give him credit where it's due. So it's WBC number 1, Wardley is, Chisholm and Dylan White, and like,
2-weight world champion in 16 or 4, wasn't it?
yeah, so that's it. I've shot it so before Phil's now, we've got a building by next door, and we've got to turn that into a cafe.
Oh, really?
Fresh and all that stuff. We had huge plans for this gym. Can't get Phil's office. So Phil's office hasn't changed. So you look in there, that's Phil's office. It's never ever changed. So behind it on the right, where that big sign is there, that used to be the TV, plus there used to be an electric chair, but my desk was over there, Ensley Bingham's was there, Thingy was here, and then all them books beside him, he's got all the British boxing yearbooks by Harry Mullen, 82, 83, 84, but that's never changed, the history and the photos in there. And then up here, we've just now got rid of all the old machinery that's been here since 83, 84, stacked weights, so we're having all this kitted out now, bringing it up to date.
For old school weights then, aren't
Well,
they?
yeah, do you know what I mean? They're proper weights, but these are the machines that had phone numbers on that they didn't have 01, it was 024, Joe, the proper stacks, and Joe, you sit down, it's the proper stack machines. It's like if you're on Venice Beach, for God's sake, do you know what I mean? But we're getting it all done out now, differently putting new stuff in for the S&C coaches coming here doing it. But yeah, it's just got so much history in it when you think about who's been here, Castidis, Brody, all them fighters. And like of late now, that everyone's wanting to use the gym when they're in town for the big shows, do you know what I mean? We just had Barbosa in the gym who was fighting Jack Cattrall, who was Sanchez with recently. He was with them, but they're always coming in wanting to use the gym, and because the gym and it's locked downstairs, we just let them get on with it and leave them to it, because you know when you go abroad, you don't want people watching cameras and all that, you just leave them to it. So it's good that they're using the gym again, and for the kids to see that the gym's being used. Joe.
Has the gym had a heavyweight champion before?
No, heavyweight, no.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. Carl, no, who's heavyweight? Yeah, Carl Thompson, cruiserweight. Heavyweight, we had one heavyweight, I forgot his name. I was going to say Marcus Morris is in Jamaica at the moment. But no, there wasn't heavyweight. We've had a couple, but never really fulfilled or carried on. With a kid from Wolves 1 point, but no heavyweight. So I feel like getting a heavyweight world champion, and then it's like Champs Camp, Moss Side, ABC. We've done it all now, like, do you know what I mean, Champs Camp. So we're just a product of what we went on before us, so it's like continuing Phil's legacy. So for Champs Camp then to have had like 2 ring belt champions, blah blah blah, but to have a world heavyweight champion from Manchester. I know we have Tyson Fury, but from a Champs Camp, Moss Side, WBC, especially WBC world heavyweight champion, it's just it'd be brilliant for the community and the area and everything else as well. Yeah, so, and I've said to Lawrence when he came here, this is what I call like Apollo's gym. You've got to prove yourself when you come in here, do you know what I mean? He's surrounded by a lot of young, hungry fighters that are looking up to him, and he has to inspire them, and he's got to prove himself. And you've got like Mikey Talons, Clark Smith, Huey Malone's, all them kids, Billy Dennis, Josh Holmes, all them kids, and they're looking up to him, but they've got to inspire them, and he's having to work as hard as them, do you know what I mean? So he's got a load of young blood around him, which motivates him. But yeah, for him to bring that back here, world heavyweight champion from Champs Camp, Moss Side, it'd be like unbelievable. So that's one of the goals left, do you know what I mean? So that's it, that's where we're full on going. Like I say, we'll win this, and obviously belts get vacated or whatever, it'll be KBL for it, and that's a huge, heavy, hard fight. So
they're all hard fights.
Oh, they're all. Some are a little bit easier. I would have loved to have. Listen, Derek Chisora in a mandatory position is I'm sure everyone will be chomping at the bit to fight Derek or Dylan. Joyce, we've asked for all of them fights, regardless of what people say, they all turned them down. Joyce won't have it, Dylan won't have it. Not surprised the money they're getting offered for fighting the people that they are fighting. Lawrence, as I said, she was an unknown quarter, but it's down to him and no one else to perform. He's got the spotlight, he's got the stage. It's out to him to make a statement that he's a WBC #1 and he's going nowhere, and people to be fearful of him. And you heard me inspiring today telling it to him. So he's got to prove himself, just as he had to do in the Apollo gym. He's got to prove himself here, and I think he likes it. He comes here, stays in Manchester, tracks there at Man City, gym's here, and his S&C's there, so he doesn't have to go half a mile either side of the city centre to where he needs to be.
It's a bit different to training in Dubai.
100% different Dubai. Listen, being out of Dubai and it's training, their facilities, but there's too many
Instagrammers,
team tracksuits. Call them team tracksuits. There's too many people, and so they're whispering you, next thing you're involved and everything else, and too comfortable. And his missus just become a dad again. Missus like 2-3 weeks ago, so it's good to pull him out of that environment and get back to hard, proper graft. Do you know what I mean? Where he's in that, and no one's really bollocking him, and I'm like fucking giving him how it is to understand, and there's no messing, because at the end of the day, Lawrence, you'll get beat, but I'll get the stick, and it's not fucking my fault if you're not listening. No, yeah, exactly, but that's the point. But it's just like, well, I'm not taking your stick, I fucking told you plenty of times, do you know what I mean? So yeah, so it is what it is, but that's what's keeping me going at the moment, that Zelfa and the bunch of young kids coming through. But I think at the moment, when all the kids might not be on the telly all the time, like I said to you, but they're learning the craft, and when they get to 18, 19 and on, they'll be ready. 20 to learn, 20 to earn, and they'll be ready, and we'll fight the kids that are on the TV at British level, at English level, and we'll be ready. Do you know what I mean?
Your energy seems just like I've seen you train a couple of times, like Mark Heffron and that. I've seen you around those guys. When you're with Akoli, when you're with the guys today, Zelfa, sparring and all that, you're non-stop. So much energy, considering what you're going through as well.
It's funny. I only got out of hospital Saturday night. I was stuck in last week. Was like proper ill. Thursday I got rushed in. I was like vomiting 8 times, sick, everything else. So I was 15 stone 4 at the beginning of the year. I'm 12 stone 10 now. And the vomiting got me straight in. I was weak as piss, couldn't drive to the hospital, someone took me. And as soon as I started vomiting, the blockage, the stent had shifted again. So I put the stent in on a drip, the whole lot, and then I was begging him for him to let me out Saturday night, because I wanted to get home and watch Yafai and Rodriguez, and stupid in it. But the consultant always say, you got to stop planning your boxing around your appointments, because I put back when Mo just fought in Riyadh, I put back the appointment to the Monday when I got back from Riyadh instead of going fight week. And even Turk was annoyed at me. He said, no, you've got to do this, do that. So, but it's just, that's how it is, and it's just, I can't let that control me. And like today, I was like, Saturday night came home shattered. Yesterday, get back out, watch Kevin Durant, start studying, and then in it today, because I'm leading by example. If I come in the gym today with the energy and the enthusiasm and everything else, then they've got to. And every now and again I've thrown, I wouldn't say the cancer line, but every now and again I go, fucking hell. And the state is, I'm fucking rid of all cancer, I've got more energy than you cunts, I mean, sorry for swearing. But do you understand, you've just got to get on with it. So I've got to lead by example, and I can't sit there and be, oh, and this, it's just like you've got to, I'll be wiped out this evening, this afternoon, and then I'll be on the track with them later on tonight. But you've got to do it, and if and it's a way of motivating them as well, as in, because they think, why am I feeling sorry for myself? Look at him, Joe, at you turn, and I said, so it's like, well, I'm doing this for you, I'm giving you all my all when I should be at home resting. I've finished my chemo now, I'm supposed to be putting on weight and being on holiday for the big up coming, but I'm not. I'm here, I'm stressed and working and pushing, and I want the best for them, and I'll go tooth and nail for them, but I want that back, and that's all you can do, and that's how it is, really.
It must be hard though.
I don't allow it control me. I don't allow it let me think about it, because if I do, I'm being controlled. Hence why I had to do the statement to let it all out. Since then, I think a couple of weeks ago, 3 or 4 people messaged me saying, no, I went and took a test. My wife took a test. She's been diagnosed. Another one's found her fucking finger, like 3 or 4. And I thought, wow, like that's made a big difference. They said because of what I've said, and go and get screened, and go and get a stool check and all that. That quite touched me a bit. And the outpouring of support by some people in the boxing, not all, but some people, was very touching, especially when you come from an environment and you can see the mentality of us here now. We're on our side. We were kids that were turning up at ABAs and beating the ABA kids and knocking them out. We were turning up. Carl Thompson turned up and Frank Shaw knocked Nicky Piper out. Prospect. We were the away fighters. No one liked us. It's us against the establishment. So that's always carried on. So for it to come from a place of like Ferguson or whatever, no one likes us, we don't care. We've always had that, or I've always carried on, Phil's thing, I've always having that, to have that siege mentality to get us all to win. So then to have an outpouring of people being kind is a bit weird, because you always feel everyone's against us, do you understand? So that was nice, but it's hard if I want it to be, and let's get through this operation now, please God, touch wood. And then we'll be ready to rock and roll September, October for a massive 2026, do you know what I mean? I think Zelf a couple more fights, he's ready. Lawrence will be ready. Please God to vacate the belts, because it's just a sitting down process, isn't it? Just waiting and waiting. Depends on what Usyk and Daniel do, the winner of that. But yeah, we've just got to give it for as long as we can, and that's it, give it your best, and that's all I ask from the fighters. If I'm giving it my best, and like Natasha says, how much will come apart when I stop. Once I stop, I'll come apart, so I can't stop, or I will come apart. I don't know, no different. Just want to be here in the gym and motivate, and new leaves of people in life like yourself, like Lawrence. And the gym has always been the kids that have, everyone wrote Macklin off. Macklin came with one British European, should have fought Felix Sturm. Everyone wrote Beefy off a draw, came back and won. Crawler lost to Guy Sites, came back, won. Quigg hadn't touched that level yet, when he became world champion.
You've got that now with Okoli, because Okoli, despite being a 2-weight world champion, gets critiques every day. I've put out...
But it suits us, I've seen that, yeah, but it suits the mentality like yourself, or he lost to Jazza. Yeah, he did, but whoever made that fight needs shooting, because he would never beat Jazza. He was dead at 130, he was 16 years old at 130, and now he's moved to 135, he's fought, and he's stopped the kid, he's fighting again in 2-3 weeks. He'll fight again after that, and he'll fight again in December. Now we've got momentum. So people are losing, but they're not fighting regular. You look at fighters that are on top form, Joshua at the time, they're fighting regular, and often momentum 4 times a year, there's momentum. Then they wonder why Josh Taylor's got beat. Joshua got out of the ring for a year. You can't be like that. It's simple, boxing simple, you just need activity. So for Barrett, I'll have another 2 or 3 before the end of the year. Then he'll be ready for the world next year. Lawrence gets this, and hopefully gets another fight, and then he'll be ready for the world next year, if not before the end of the year, in the Riyadh season. Do you know what I mean? It's just activity. We've just got to keep them activity. Then you get the best fighters, the versions. And I don't get it sometimes, because I think the promoters have invested so much money into so many fighters, but then they're like, I liken it to, say, Pep going to Haaland. You sit on the bench for 6 months. Oh, hang on a minute, we need you in the Champions League final. Come off and go and score a hat-trick. You just can't do it. When you're hot, you're hot. When a fighter's hot, keep him fighting, keep him busy, like Ricky Hatton coming through, Kawasaki, Neza. The flying, Joshua was flying, but this, keeping him out and keeping that, as much sparring as you can do, it doesn't replicate in fight night and walking through and the nerves and the press and the media. You just can't replicate it. No matter how many in-house spars you have, you just can't replicate it.
Does that still exist, that being able to keep a fighter hot like it used to? Fighters aren't as active as they used to be, right?
No, I always say to me, look at Barry McGuigan's resume. I think he fought for a British in February, then he had another defence, fought for the European in March, then he fought Juan Laporte in April, May or whatever it was, and then Pedraza and Finger. And that's like 4 fights before he fought Pedraza in the same year. And his resume fighting 2 weeks later, I thought, for his title fight. You look at Chavez and Duran, they'd much rather have a big fight, but then they'd fight some kid that's like won 5, lost 20. But it was like in the back streets, but it didn't care, it just kept them busy. And I think there's too much about branding now. I hear about it's branding and we need to build this and build that. If people want to go and watch, they'll come and watch, do you know what I mean? It's like, you're not got to say to Beyonce, let's go and sell out the Co-op this year. Do you know what, you sold it out once already, leave it for another year. The demand's that big to come and see him. Put her on next week, put her on a few weeks after.
You've been in the front row there with me.
Yeah, do you understand? Yeah. It's like, if Joshua wants to fight, I remember when we went in Turkey for the press announcement before Christmas, and Joshua wanted to fight before Christmas, he wanted to get out, he wanted to get on the horse. And I'm like, he wants to put that back. That's why I've just got Jazzy wants to get a razor. Now you're holding back to go into something. He's got whatever's gone before. It's like he was literally been in a severe car crash. And you got to put him behind the wheel driving the car for the first time since that car crash. He needs to go out for a few spins first. Do you know what I mean? And there's kids out there who can have a few spins first. But if you talk at the general public will understand it, that it's not money, it's psychological. It's like falling off a horse, like breaking your arm or whatever. And you've got to get back on the horse and get comfortable with it again and get a bit of momentum going and get it going. But holding back, I do think it's a bit detriment. But I do feel when kids are hot, I think we have the platforms now, we have Sky, we have DAZN. DAZN's every week, boxing on DAZN, so many shows, we can keep these kids busy. Do you know what I mean? Frank does a great job. I think the tentacles that he has, he still does the Stokes, he does the Tamworths, he does York Hall, brings them through, and he's still got the arenas, do you understand? And he's sort of like, it's a rebuilding process, he's conquering the world, do you know what I mean? But at the same time, he's got to rebuild the UK stable a little bit, do you know what I mean? I'm surprised Mick Hennessy hasn't gone back into it, because he was a good promoter at the time of it, do you know what I mean?
Channel 5, ITV2.
Yeah, there's loads of outlets, so if there's kids fighting, it's like, right, put them out. Rick Hatton used to fight, go on 2 weeks holiday, he'd fight he'd fight like March, then he'd fight May, then he'd fight September, then he'd fight December, 4 times a year, and it was like banged out every time, because it's a Rick Hatton, but that one time, and it's like, oh, he's just doing it for the money now, do you know what I mean? I just feel, to answer your question, yeah, there is, because we've got the dates to do it, and it's just like, get him going, keep him going, do you know what I mean?
Let me get to kind of predictions from you, since we're talking, a kid who is hot at the moment is Moses Itama, Dillian White, maybe inactive, hasn't boxed that win over Ebenezer Tete. How are you seeing that?
I think Moses Itama, I think it's a great scalp for him. Same with Dylan, you don't know which Dylan's got to turn up, a bit like Dave Allen. They all banked in him not being the proper Dave Allen that night when he fought. But Dylan, when he's on it, I'm sure he's got one last big performance again in him. You can't not rule him out with his big left hook and his desire. It's how much he really wants to do it, or is it his last payday and I'm not going there, I'm not expected to win. Moses might catch him sharp early on, a bit like Tyson Fury did, move and then took him out. Was it round 5 or 6, something like that? And Moses could be like that. He might have to weather the storm, but I just think Moses might be just a bit too sharp with his feet. I don't know if they're sparred in the past or not, but I just think Moses, I just think he'll be too sharp, too quick, and I just think Dylan on his last performance you only can judge off. Like you say, if he really puts it down and he really feels he's got to give it his best like he did when he was up against Chisora them times, can he roll back the clock? I think that them last few years of being inactive, not as busy as he was, have gone now, and I think it's right timing for Moses Itama. He was a hot kid, he's just fought, and there you go, he's a hot kid, just keep him busy, keep at 40, he would have been a bit more busy than he has been, but it's the kind of people wanting to fight him as well.
And the final one, Usyk's hot right now as well, he's heavyweight world champion, you know, but Usyk's that genius.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of both of them. Daniel Dubois, I've loved how he's come back and suits our mentality, ram the critics' words down the throats of being a quitter. It's shocking to have said that with the ice hockey and all that, and then obviously losing to Usyk, but then to come back and Hrgovic and Then to take on to Joshua, he walked to the ring that night, and you can tell in the build-up, round table, the head-to-head, it wasn't being bullied. It was like all of a sudden a kid was fed up of being bullied for years at school, just thought, Joe, what? You're not bullying me no more. And that put them all on the back foot, and the way he went in there. And listen, he landed the shot, because Joshua, I can't say it didn't hurt him, it did hurt him, and he was just going in for the kill and walked in for it. But Daniel Barr, how he's conducted himself and brought himself back, he's just got to show that same hunger, he's got a second bite at the apple. But Usyk, we're talking of someone that he still isn't the oldest heavyweight in the division, and what he's done has achieved is phenomenal. Will he go down as one of the all-time greats? Yeah, I think he will. I think for the weight size and the people that he's beat, and the weight size that he's beat people, if we're on about your Holyfields and we're on about Alexander Usyk, I think mentally drains you out with his feet, his rhythm. And I think that's why when you see him, you get to rounds 8 and 9, he clips Joshua, he clips Fury, he stops Daniel Dubois, because they're mentally drained off this feet and movement and moving, keeping thinking, because he's sharp and he can land. Whether Daniel goes after him just gung-ho, he can walk into sharp counters, or as you've seen with Derek Chisora had great success, pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. But he's got to have be a little bit more wise, Daniel. And but as you've seen, I do feel when Anthony Joshua let his hands go, it made Usyk a little bit uncomfortable at times, but he never could sustain it. I think if Daniel set a tempo and a pace and punched him bunches instead of singles, I think he could get good success, do you understand? And it's a real pick and fight. I want Daniel to win, but I just think Usyk's still just got a little bit too much upstairs. I could be proved wrong, like I say, my heart's with Daniel, but my head's with Usyk.
And Lawrence against Kevin Lerena, how's this one?
It's a very tough fight. I'm not going to come out and say steal the show, but I think it's a very good fight, good platform for both of them. Kevin Lerena is in a good run of form, and this is a fight. Obviously, he's a WBC Bridgerweight title that Lawrence had, and he's making a step, and it's a huge opportunity for a pair of them. He's been in camp twice with Tyson Fury for Usyk. Like I said to Lawrence, do you generally think he's scared of you? He's most probably thinking, sparred millions of rounds with Tyson Fury and fighting Lawrence Takola, I'll walk through him. And that'd be his mindset, Lawrence. You don't present no problems or danger to him when you've been with Tyson Fury, whose IQ up close, holding, tugging, playing, killing rounds, killing the clock, nicking rounds. Tyson Fury's boxing IQ was way, way above, do you understand, anyone's. And you think he's got to be scared of you? They're like relishing this. This is like, we do him, we'll take that WBC #1 spot. And the management side of it, obviously with Spence and all that, they've had that WBC belt with Tyson for a long time. They've got Cabiel, who's in position. They don't want Cabiel to fight Lawrence and lose control of the belt. So they want Kevin to win. So when that belt becomes vacant, they've got two of their own kids fighting for that belt, so they have to control the WBC again. So you've got to look at the bigger picture of what's going on in the line currents. But it's got to be an exciting fight. Both guys can punch. We've seen Kevin Lerena drop Daniel Dubois 3 times. He got up and he won. The fights that he has had, Kevin Lerena, is an exciting fight. That's a huge opportunity for him. Lawrence Takola, as I said to him in the World Cup semi-final, you can't slip up. You just can't slip up. You're at the World Cup semi-final, one of the biggest stages in world boxing, Wembley, packed out arena on the undercard of the world heavyweights. You can't slip up. This is yours to lose, not his to win.
Perfect. Cheers, Joe.
Cheers, no problem.
Really good chat, mate.